watching Seeking Gravity. And this is how we play 9-ball. Balls numbered 1 through 9 must be played in rotation, requiring the cue ball to always strike the lowest numbered ball on the table first. Balls are racked in random order, with the 1 in front and 9 in the middle. By first making contact with the lowest numbered ball on the table, any ball can be pocketed with a combo or carom, and it remains your turn. You cannot, however, strike a higher numbered ball on the table first to sink the lowest numbered ball on the table. This is a foul. All fouls give your opponent ball in hand, a huge advantage. You can win the rack by sinking the 9 early, as long as you use the lowest numbered ball on the table to initiate the shot. A push-out is an option on the first shot after the break, and it isn't required to follow any of the rules, but the opponent gets to decide if they want to take on the resulting leave or give the next shot right back. Jumping and jump cues are allowed, adding a little flair to the game. 1 through 9. Only one ball matters. Only one ball counts. The 9. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We've got a fantastic match planned. Can you hear me okay, Alan?
Kind of?
Kind of?
You're a little quiet, I think.
Testing. There we go. Weird. Okay. Cool. Anyways, we have a fantastic match 1 today. I believe James and Juliet are stacked right next to each other in the standings, aren't they?
I believe so. They certainly look it.
And yeah, you can't have much more similar of a record than that, so this should be a pretty fantastic match 1. Any thoughts, Alan?
I'm excited for it. They both shoot way stronger than their record indicates.
Yeah.
And yeah, it should be real good.
Fantastic. All right, well, with that said, we are going to go ahead and get started with match 1, James versus Julieta. Get them legging for the break here. Technically an illegal leg for those not aware.
Yeah.
So traditionally, for those who are not aware, and it looks like Julieta won that, technically both players are supposed to strike the cue ball before the cue ball hits the far rail.
Yep.
But that's okay. Not a big deal.
Yeah, if the other person doesn't really say anything about it, did it really count? Or something like that.
Alright, so Julieta breaking rack 1. Get you guys some table sound here.
We've been having a lot more people go for the kind of mid-table break in hopes of moving the 9-ball around.
Alright. Not an easy opening shot here.
I'd have to do the work because I don't have 1 week tied to, I have 1 whole session.
And not a very easy second shot here for James.
James' first opener here.
I'd like to know what I am lifetime basis. Yeah. That would be. Yeah, that'd be pretty difficult. You got that pretty good. And I don't keep track of I do keep track of the skill level that people are playing, but I don't keep track of the actual player.
I have a couple players that always stick out to me. One guy in particular that I
you have a sec.
Cool.
All right. Ooh. Look at that.
Not quite.
Ooh.
James with a much easier shot on the one this time. Oh, and he almost missed it.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us on your Monday night. Got two great matches here. This first one I've been looking forward to, James and Julietta, just because they're so tight in the standings. I believe they're right next to each other.
Planned. Yeah, again, both of these players are have shot much better than their scores indicate, I think.
Their records, yeah.
Yeah. Like if we did have some sort of handicap system, I think they would dominate quite a few people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when we were structuring the league, we decided to veer away from the handicap league because this makes players compete.
Good shot. I know, and I know we've talked about this before, but usually when I'm playing people who I feel are better than me, my play is much stronger.
Yeah, I just think the overall mentality walking into just a straight up match is it's better. It's more
Right.
pure, you know? You're not looking at numbers and number of balls. You just need to play well. Play smart.
Or not play well, but make the 9 ball. That happens a lot as well. I think Rob and I were having a conversation out there where he was actually talking about his match with you. He said that he wasn't shooting so super strong, and so
Well, neither one of us were.
yeah. Well, yeah, and he kind of noticed that, and so he decided to let you do your thing and then hope that you would mess up at the end.
Oh, please.
Great shot.
Just a little straight.
Well, it's a business expense, because you can't be in business without them.
Hopefully she doesn't just leave the cue ball right there. That's a monster shot to the 9.
$400 mass. They're single-time use.
I watched this show that I saw about 5 minutes ago last night, TMZ show,
Oh.
and I just heard them mentioning like $100,000 masks that some started like Gucci masks and masks.
Nice. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're on week
18.
18? Man.
Ran out of fingers, almost out of toes now.
4 more weeks to go. And then playoffs. So we still got lots of good pool for you guys.
Yeah, in fact, I can pull up standings during the rack here.
Nice.
Juliana.
See, when she's on, she shoots great.
So there's the standings right now. Gonna get hard to read here when they get those balls on there, but yeah, so it's getting fairly tight even for the top here.
Yeah, I think there's a decent battle for kind of 7th, that last guaranteed playoff spot. Battle for 2nd is pretty good. So I think we've done a pretty good job of keeping it fairly fair. And like we've talked about before, most people are kind of where we suspected they would end up at the end.
Oh, I totally miscued.
Yeah, we got a good view of that unsolid hit. It's a lot of table.
It wasn't the worst
Some
one
good
ever
camera work.
because my first break of my first match in the first session, I literally, you hear a clink and I shot the cue ball straight into the corner pocket. Nothing but net.
That's hilarious.
Didn't
How did I
even,
miss that?
yeah, didn't even hit the rack. It was amazing. Camera turned off. Get it?
It's in.
So there's a button.
Oh.
Oh, some gnarly English on that.
Yeah. I think he was trying to swerve it around it a little bit. Just looking to go 2 rails.
The idea was there.
Yeah.
And Julia's gonna start getting dangerous. She's got a good stroke. And I think just what she's lacking now is the basic pool knowledge, and when that starts arriving, she's gonna be dangerous.
Oh, that was close.
That was a good shot.
Somehow,
Shot.
all those balls, there's a shot in that too.
That was
But she's glad she missed that two at this point.
It was a tough shot. I was way ahead.
Oh, she would have just kicked the 3 in, no problem.
Yeah.
Kicks, bangs, same thing.
How to hit the one ball. Whatever. Just right into something. I mean, the reality
4
is
balls in a
the rest of the table.
tough spot here.
Yeah, you got some time.
It's not like I leave these close.
Yeah.
And you could add more flexibility when he starts back up.
I guess he could like
Close again.
I think we might be getting close.
slightly draw it into that gap and hope to have a shot on the 4.
Pierce County has quit this past week. We're slowing back up here. It's pissing me off. Oh man.
Like
I thought
that.
was all the way there.
Well, he put the 3 right where you put the 2, so
Hmm.
that's a good,
Yeah, but I mean, look at the damn 4. I had nothing on that. I don't know how to deal with that. Complain, right?
you got this, Steve?
Here it comes.
Oh, let's try it.
She's gonna end up okay.
I think you got to. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a big ball right now, though.
Let's slow it down here.
He must. Yeah, he's gonna go just rail first here.
Yeah.
Nice shot. Oops.
Did I cause that one cluster there? Sorry.
A little bit, yeah.
We got 50 viewers right now and 52 viewers on a Monday evening. Not too shabby. Thank you guys for joining us. We're here every Monday at 7, shooting pool.
Also, if you guys have any questions, make sure to ask them. We enjoy answering them.
Yeah, you don't have to be a master of pool to have questions. Beginners, mids, advanced.
Step 2.
Give us dudes in the back here something to talk about. Weird. It was like, was that a give up shot?
Yeah. Yeah. Completely.
Yep.
I
I
think.
guess I wouldn't have done that. I just would have like tapped the cue ball. That was kind of weird.
I think his idea was, I'm just gonna give you ball in hand there. It looks like the 6 might be able to go into the side.
It's tight. Get some serious thought from Julietta here. Burning some CPU cycles. This is by far the longest or the slowest I've seen Julietta play. So she's really in this. Try and spin it in. Oh, banking it.
Right idea, just a little hard.
Yeah, I think I would have maybe tried to just pop the 6 out and leave it safe somewhere, but it was hard to think of a spot where you could do that.
She could have easily played a pretty nasty safe there, I feel. Just tucking the cue ball between the 8 and the 9. In worst case scenario, it went in. She would have had a shot in the 7.
Yeah. The 9 would have.
But again, that's defense.
Amanda's taking our Ask Any Questions to heart, asking why the sky is blue, and I'm going to refer you to Google on that one.
I just take the easy way out and say science.
Yeah. Something about oceans, something, reflection.
Oh,
Got it.
cool. All right, James ties her up.
Nice out, James.
All right, as we predicted, it's already lining up to be a tight match.
Oh, I thought James was lining that up to break off, like literally off the rail. He put the cue ball right on the rail. What are you doing, dude? I have to stop this.
Zero problems on this rack here. Not the easiest shot on the 1, but it can run down the rail. Natural shape for the 2, natural shape for the 3. If there is a problem here, the hardest shot right now is this 1 ball. Then the pink 4 ball getting onto the 5, I think. Whoa.
Yeah, that. He must have hit it super fat. No, he hit the rail first.
Yeah, super thin. I think that can sneak into the side. She's lining up for the corner. Hopefully she's gonna have a leave on the 3 here.
So we got 58 people watching. I'd venture to guess that there's quite a few people watching this for the first time.
Yeah, I bet so. I
And
also
that's pretty
think that the whole summertime vacation weekend getaways, all that stuff is kind of winding down too.
cool. Yeah, I would
The
say so.
weather's turning.
The kids are back in school. Or something like it.
It was kind of ominous there. The school that's right down the street from the studio, all the playground equipment's wrapped up in that orange fence netting.
Yeah.
I found that very interesting.
Yeah. Do not play on the playground.
Yeah.
But perfect on the green.
How many points you get for that?
Yeah, I think the school is in Puyallup. They were going to open and then it got delayed.
So they're still out.
Yeah, they're still out of class.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's really weird the way she had her stick. I thought she was going to poke at it.
Yeah, me too.
That's a hard shot. I'm no expert, Alan, but
Perfect defense.
yep, nailed it.
You couldn't ask for much more than that as far as a miss goes, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
Yeah.
hard shot.
The three's out in the middle of nowhere.
I'm a little surprised he's not jumping it.
It was right in between a single and a two-rail kick.
Long ways. Had to go over all of
He tried to put it in the same spot and have her just shoot it again. You do it.
I wonder how many people have the ability to vote. So we'll put a poll out there. Do this from time to time.
Oh, she has ball in hand.
I've been doing the drills all weekend. The game.
Alright, so we'll send this out into the universe. So this is our first real slow rack for these two. Always sure to be one for everybody in every match, especially on this table.
Yeah, it was bound to happen at some point, and they found it.
For those first-time viewers, this table, you might be thinking on a handful of shots here, often, why didn't they make that shot? And I could have made that shot, or I could have made that shot and gotten around the table. Well, they are playing a 9-foot table with 4-inch shimmed pockets. So this is the toughest table I've ever played on.
Same.
And I would
Funny thing is I was trying to draw.
I would
As I'm about to do it,
bet that most of the Seeking Gravity players would have the exact same thing to say.
and then I did it anyway, and I missed it, so.
Well, this is like the toughest, like, good condition table I've played on. I've played on some really crappy bar tables.
So you're saying they were just hard tables because the conditions were just crap?
Yeah, when you have to get down eye level with the felt so you can see the roll of the green, it's generally pretty poor quality table. Or just needs to be leveled, I guess.
Or you can actually land the cue ball in the rough
Yeah.
somewhere on the table. Fortunately for James there.
Nice lead.
So I don't know if Julia is schooled very well beyond single rail banks. It looks like she's going to line up a 2-rail here. Yeah, I think she's just kind of guessing at it though.
It's pretty crazy how accurate 2-rail banks are.
Especially with, I think a more important note there is how consistent they are no matter what the condition the rails are in. Versus like a single rail banker kick, which
Yeah.
can be off wildly.
Interesting. Okay.
It's not the easiest way to get on the 9-ball now. He's gotta come with a shot here.
I think I probably would have tried to go top left corner there instead on the 5. He gave himself a shot. We should put out a Christmas wish list. What do you mean by that? I mean, I know what a Christmas wish list is, but I just...
Alright, so Julieta's gonna pull out her banking skill set here that she claims she doesn't have.
Yeah.
She's gonna line it up there.
Well, I've missed a lot more than I've made. How about that?
And she always talks about how she's terrible at it now. Because we,
Yeah.
we give her cred for it.
Yeah.
She's very quick to say that she's not good at banking. And everyone gives her crap for it now.
I'm so bad at banking, so wish.
Drain. Yeah.
She's on fire.
Yeah, just the same. Because they keep creeping up. I figured there might be a little shade pocket. Like things that are going on.
So we've got quite a few first-time viewers based off the poll results here. Almost
a lot.
half. So we've got, yeah, either first time or a lot.
Uh-oh.
That was a funky bounce. All right, so looks like Julieta's going to take rack 3 here to take a 2-1 lead over James. He's going to keep this match tight.
Okay, down there.
What'd she just say?
I don't know.
Ooh, she poked at that.
Did you hear them? Go. They thought it was gonna scratch. I did too.
Julieta's calling you out, Alan.
I didn't think it was. I was hoping it was.
Yeah, next time I'll get a louder.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So we are, the commentator booth, we've done our best to distance ourselves from the pool table so that you don't have to hear us in your ear, because that would be probably the most annoying thing on the planet, sitting right off the table.
It's pretty irritating because you can still hear him from where we are.
Yeah.
She cried on the couch. Is that
So
Well, it's. I mean, so we're
we're
30 feet away
yeah,
or so.
yeah, with the door almost closed, we have to keep it somewhat open to get the mess of cables back here.
Oh, my kids did
It is, however, like a basement with a big wide open room out there with like cement walls and stuff, so noise travels pretty good here.
anything, but it's a good break. Good stroke. And part of it is that her brother,
I don't even know how to pronounce that name.
I was trying to figure. I think I want to say CTQ, but
Well, I'm just going to say CTQ like I'm reading it, but we are in the Tacoma area of Washington.
which, if you don't know, is in the Seattle area.
Yeah. And I would say before, like, the summer vacation window hit, we were regularly hitting 40, 50 viewers and keeping that steady. So we're getting right back to where we were. We kind of hit a little bit of a lull, and that's just because I think people had better things to do.
Yeah.
You know, getting out of the house finally and enjoying some weather.
As much as they could, at least in our area.
Get outside and get some smoke.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out for a fresh cancer from this.
Stretch my legs, get some cancer.
Yeah. Alright, Julie had to jump it.
This one's a pretty easy bend, I think.
Mount Vernon.
Yeah,
Have you ever been up there? You've been up there.
Oh yeah, I lived up in Bellingham for 4 or 5 years before my now large 13-year stint down here in Tacoma. So
Yeah, I lived in Mount Vernon when I was in the Navy, and I loved it. I
beautiful.
might retire up there.
it's beautiful.
You know, 70 years from now. One of my coworkers today was like, I finally picked my retirement date, and he's like 70, 65 or something. And said, yeah, 15 years from now. I was like, what? Dude, retire. Get out of here.
I think you get that way though. Like you get comfortable. You don't need the money, which I think makes going to work a lot less stressful, and you probably enjoy your job a lot more
Yeah, I would think that's probably accurate.
rather than just hustling.
I think at some point you're doing the job because you enjoy it.
We got Texas.
All over the place.
We got the whole country tuning in tonight, guys. Thanks for
Pennsylvania.
joining.
I try to save up for these camera shot opportunities.
Canada, do you need a passport to watch this right now? So James is jumping. Good hit. No dice. Tough leave.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think it's easier.
All right, I'll make another poll for everybody since we got so many viewers in here.
Oh, miscued, but she
Yeah.
almost hit it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was hoping for a cross bank if possible, but I have a hard time getting over another ball. It's the Hey, we're even on missing.
That's two ball in hands that have been missed this match that haven't been too tough of shots. So I'm a little surprised by that.
I did a short stint. We got Olympia in the house too. Not too big of a surprise. Just a little hop down,
Just down the road.
about 30 minutes south of here. I had a very short stint, 4-month stint in Olympia.
Too hard.
We're sort of looking at moving to that area at some point in the future, depending on if I ever have to go back to the office or not. Those first 2 racks went by real quick, and then they kind of
Well, this is rack 4. But yeah, rack 3 was a long one too.
slowed down a little bit.
It just happened, especially on this table.
Baseball is a sweet spot like that. The tip.
I wouldn't say so.
Nah.
Yeah, unfortunately Saturday's in my head.
There's definitely a sweet spot with a stroke, though.
Yeah.
You feel it.
I mean, I think. So, I mean, I guess the best way to put that would be, like in baseball, if you hit the sweet spot, you don't feel it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I would think that if you hit the ball, if you hit the cue ball, center ball, like with the pure stroke, you feel it just because there's a little bit of resistance. But I would say that that's the least time there's no deflection, there's nothing like that.
Use a bridge.
So I would consider like that the sweet spot. But that's not like where you want to hit it all the time.
But at the same time, if you hit like a really, really just nice, snappy draw shot, you feel the same thing.
Yeah. Yes, we got people that have never watched us before. This is their first time watching, and also have never played pool before. So that's really cool. Oh, nice try. Tough.
So same idea, just reverse. Well, not only that, but my entire life I've been playing without a glove, and my hands have always been way too sweaty to do this bridge. Being one.
That's gonna be your ankle,
Yeah, Edward, if you aren't feeling it on this table, you definitely notice it.
Yeah, even a really established player, if they're not in stroke, this table will beat you up real fast. And it's really easy to watch. It's another to play on it, I feel.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, if this is the table you want to play on, practice on regardless. It's very frustrating at times, but if you're sinking them on this table, you're feeling pretty good because you've played on this table and it's destroyed you before. And yeah, so if you're running racks on this table and doing some really nice strings, it feels really good.
One of those where the second you hit it, you know you hit it wrong. I don't know that you did.
Yeah, we'll typically see a good chunk of balls rattle out of the pocket
Oh yeah,
throughout a night.
yeah.
Just people trying to cheat the pocket just slightly, and you just can't do it.
Oh yeah. Once you get to a certain speed with a ball too entering the pocket, unless it hits the back of the pocket.
Wow, I thought that was gonna hit the rail for sure.
Yeah. At speed, if you don't hit center pocket, more often than not, they rattle out.
Yep.
Oh, it almost feels like a snooker table at times. Alright, so we've got Julietta ball in a hand. So she's going to play a more comfortable shot, and she's going to leave herself a slightly tougher leave, I think. So she's going right down the rail. It shouldn't be a problem shooting the 9. You always want to make that as easy as possible. This is the most important shot right here. Not the 9 ball, this one right here. You shoot this good, the 9 ball is easy.
She's okay.
Well, my worry was that the cue ball would magically stop, and I could have really hard shot it. And if I put top on it, I would scratch. I need to focus.
There it is. Alright, Julieta trying to pull away. 3-1. Amanda, he's talking about center to edge. It's an aiming system. There's a handful of them out there, and I don't know. I'm not a huge fan, but different strokes for different folks, literally.
Yep.
So,
Ranger in typical like leagues around here, these guys are roughly 4s. If
so you're mid to low mid, like
Yeah.
getting into the mid and getting comfortable there. So we've got players deliberately of the entire spectrum. We have players who've just been playing for less than a year. We've got players who've been playing for 10 plus years. And we've done that deliberately for a number of reasons, but most specifically the reason for that would be the upcoming show we are filming right now. We end up just filming all day Saturday for it. So the idea there is that there's players that are going to naturally resonate with any viewer out there because they're going to ask the same questions, they're going to shoot the same way, and you'll find yourself kind of gravitating towards wanting to hear more or see more of those particular players, and you can learn along with them. That's the idea. So lots of fun stuff coming down the pipe.
See, I was trying to think of what CTE was, and I could only think of the head injury thing. I couldn't think of what it actually meant. I was like, CTE.
Yeah, centered
Having
edge.
CTE makes it seem like it would be harder.
Playing with concussions, I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like you're jumping on a trampoline and getting tires at different spots.
Well, thanks for sticking with us, Ranger. Just like everybody else out there, we've got some really great, dedicated viewership out there who are always not only watching but asking questions and commenting and encouraging, and we like to see it.
They're gonna kind of chase this 2-ball around a little bit. I think she's
Might
gonna
have a
go for the combo. Combos are so funny because they seem like they're just so easy sometimes.
Cut induce throw is the bugaboo.
I think James is really trying to get his position down, and that's good. Hopefully he doesn't get frustrated by not making balls sometimes. It's hard to do.
Alright, so that's going to give Juliet a ball in hand. I think the 6th ball is going to find gravity there, yeah. 3 ball is not the easiest to get to.
Nope.
My depth perception has been bothering me today. Too much time on the computer screen.
Toby, this is not professional play. I don't know what gave you that impression at any point in time.
Nope.
Every single one of these people are amateurs. In fact, there's a handful here who have been playing for not even a year, and a lot of them less than 2 years. So these are all amateurs who love the game and looking to get better, and we're all here for the journey.
Yeah, I think James is he's at 2 years,
I think he just broached the 2-year mark.
and
Did that bother you?
Joey's pretty new to pool. I don't know how long Tiffany's been playing. I can't remember what she said the other day.
Right before you started to hit, and I was like, oh, geez, that was loud.
I was getting ready to jump in. but she
Alrighty.
jumped in.
Was that me?
Yeah, how's you, man?
No, I didn't feel that at all.
All right, so Julieta going for the bridge.
Oh, is someone making fun of my lack of ability?
No, there's just some know-it-alls.
So Tiffany's at a year and a half. So I would say that's,
I'm surprised.
yeah, her, James, and
You should see, watch this. She's trying to dance this bridge on the rail. It's kind of funny.
Oh, geez. All right.
you're okay. Don't use the bridge. You don't need it.
She's fine.
You don't need it on this one. You're good.
Uh,
She said sorry. See, I hate when I do that. When I pull out the bridge and then I'm like, you know what? I don't think I need this. And then I realize, no, I did need it. Dang it. Let me go get it. I feel like I've wasted everybody's time.
yeah, Ranger. It's taken us. We're still getting used to the ball color difference because traditionally the 4 ball is going to be more your purple tone, and your 5 ball is going to be the brighter yellow. I'm sorry, orange. Sometimes pink. It's wild. So in this set, yeah, the thing to remember is the pink before purple. So pink 4 ball, purple 5 ball. Ooh, she fired that one.
Yeah, see, there you go. If you miss center pocket and you hit it with speed, you're in trouble. Or wait, if you don't hit it center pocket.
Yeah. Got him clean. Alright, so that brings James back to table here. See if he can get around. This is not an easy shot. Alright, so Julia's gonna get teased by the draw shot again.
See, I'm actually at the point now where when I see other sets of balls that they're the way most people think of balls, I go, oh, these are weird. These are weird looking.
I think most ball manufacturers, when they're making, I mean, these are what you'd be considered a TV set. The idea is that TV balls colors started back with, we had standard definition TVs, and you couldn't tell the difference between like 4 or 5 different ball colors.
Yeah.
Like your 6, 7, 8 all look the same color. Your same with the 2 ball that ran in that same series, and then your 3, 4, 5 all look more or less the same. So they're doing their best to create tonal difference, so you can clearly tell which one's which. And that was the whole reason for this Aramith Black set. You know, so 9 ball is black and yellow rather than white and yellow, so you don't confuse it with the 1 ball or the cue ball, because that's actually, if you don't have a really clear picture and a ton of light baking the table like we do, it's very easy to confuse even the cue ball with the 9 ball sometimes.
Now it's a little bit easier with all the polka dotted cue balls, but
Yeah, the measles balls, yeah, for sure. So, can you give us a phonetic version of your name, CTQ, or is that it? Is it CTQ? So I would say my name's Matt. I've been playing actual table time probably 6 years, 7 years. I played for a bit in college and then took a monster break, like a 15-year break, 12-year break, something like that. And then Ellen, you've been playing for...
coming up on 3 years.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so that's gonna be an easy one to remember. Like, how old is my kid? Subtract a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just under. So it is CTQ. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, just under 3 years. which has been, yeah, it's pretty crazy that it's been 3.
Mm-hmm. When you're just a pup. Yeah, so I've been back into it now about 3 years ish.
Yep.
4 years, something like that.
Well, I thought it was gonna scratch, so I was trying to put like the top on it so it wouldn't, the angle wouldn't hurt the sand.
Oh my god.
The regular hitting angle, it looked like it maybe was, but in my head it was.
It's actually kind of crazy how quickly I got into this. I mean, I usually dive pretty hard into my hobbies, but
You jumped in.
I mean, and you know, I played pool. I played pool before that, you know, at, you know, bars when I was in the military or just friends' houses back in the day. But I was terrible, just awful. I held the cue wrong. My bridge was like,
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
well, when you're like a, you know, when you're you know, a kid and you're pretending to walk with your fingers. So imagine that, and then just sticking the cue between your legs, and that's how I held my cue. Like I had to hold my cue up.
So like an inverted cigarette.
Yeah. Useless. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how quickly I feel like I've picked it up. Not that I'm any good, but
Uh-oh. Ooh, that would have made the job a lot easier. Let's see what the 8-ball does here. Alright. So this should put Julietta on the hill. So she's got a good stroke. She's learning though. She's hungry for knowledge and she's getting there. So she's trying to figure out the smartest way to play this. Obviously the easiest way is just off the rail a little bit on the other side of the 8-ball. And just hit into the 8-ball, come off the rail lightly, and then you're staring the 9 straight in the pocket. But she's going to do what she's comfortable with, which is what you know in times of pressure. So she's going to follow this out. So she hasn't quite developed a draw stroke yet that she's comfortable with in tight situations, so she opted to go a little bit more complicated route, but it worked out. There it is. Alright, that puts Julietta on the hill.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
So match number 2 coming up tonight. We've got my co-commentator, Alan, versus DJ. DJ's gotcha so far.
Watching the side talk is so much.
I'm not really like any of the progress. The what is? Oh, it's in there.
But yeah, so thoughts on this match?
I think I got it.
Yeah, okay.
No, I mean DJ's beat me already. I think I blew a hefty lead against him back in the day. Man, that feels like forever ago.
Yes,
I
it
think we
does.
played like week 2 or 3,
Yeah.
and that feels like so long ago. And yeah, Edward, that's kind of the point of this like league and show and all that stuff is kind of just watching the growth of players over the season.
I mean, don't wait
And I would say for the most part everybody's done a pretty decent job of with the conditions
Yeah.
of not being able to go to a bar and play due to all of them being closed.
Yeah. So there's a lot of factors where people are just tuning in and aren't climatized to what we have going on. There's a number of factors going on. As a lot of our players are new. B, none of these people are getting instruction. They don't know where to look for instruction. They don't know how to drill, how to practice. Most of these players are used to showing up to a bar when there's a league match, racking a rack of 8-ball, and then hitting them. And you kind of learn lessons very, very, very slowly that way. You're not really developing as a player, you're just kind of knocking balls around. So, but that's a large difference of what we have going on with the show. So we've isolated players that are very passionate about this game, and they're all different levels and experiences, and they all want to get better. And we are creating the journey for them through all kinds of different scenarios that you guys will see develop on the show, which we're extremely excited about. It just takes a long time to execute professionally in terms of production. So you guys will see it. It will just take time to get to you. But yeah, we did all day filming Saturday for an episode. And so we're building the content now. So you are going to see all these players who could hit. You're going to see all these players who might not have the best fundamentals, or can't draw, or can't follow, or can't even do a stun shot, can't bank, don't know rail systems. I mean, don't know how to play shape, you know. So you're going to see all kinds of things happen, and so it's going to be a fantastic journey to watch these players develop truly in front of you guys as you watch them.
Yeah, we're trying to capture the genuine, expressions that they have when they start to kind of learn and figure these things out. It's fun to see. And yeah, Billy gave us a scare with telling he's sick after we just filmed him on Saturday. COVID tests are negative, so everything's dandy, but he is staying home tonight, so we canceled the third match.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be myself and Billy playing tonight to round out the night, and so we just tabled it, and that's totally fine.
Nice shot.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pop these results in the
Lots of people playing for
video.
quite a while.
So yeah, over half of our audience are 5+ years in, so that's great to see. We also have a lot of people who have never played, and a lot of people in that 1 to 5 year range, so pretty cool.
Uh-oh, follow that right in.
Hey Matt, I got the follow.
Excellent. What would Billy do?
I thought I was putting mine on it.
James starting to feel it.
Straight.
Come on, ball.
Just ended up a skosh too straight to get any play off of it.
Hey, you didn't follow us.
He tried to pretty much power follow that all the way in line to get somewhere to have a shot on the 8, and that's a tough shot. So he's gonna try to bank this.
It was, but not enough off the street to like get natural.
No, I meant my shot.
Oh, yours, yeah.
That's a great shot.
Good job.
And he snuck behind the 9 I can't believe I didn't hit the 9. Nice out.
Thank you.
So James staying alive. Makes a ball on the break.
Calling safe. I would have gone the other way, just strictly because of that reason right there.
Yeah, he said safety.
It's weird she's not looking at the side pocket here. Nailed it.
That was a good shot. I think she's just worried about where her the cue
Mhm.
ball goes after the
Sure.
side. So that's good. She's starting to think ahead. I think when we first started doing this, she had said multiple times that she doesn't think that, like, she doesn't think too far ahead. She just kind of goes to make the shot and kind of keep going. So that's really good to see.
Safe.
Jeez. Rob's brutal out there, man.
Yeah, when Julia is in stroke and she's feeling confident and she stays down, she's solid. Oh, that was gonna go in. And then it double hit. James gonna play another save.
Should be able to. Oh, that's kind of tricky. A lot of distance. He went for it. You got another one of those racks?
Yeah. And he's
Wish I could say any.
a little stuck here.
I'm just getting misses instead of defenses.
2 rails. Alright, so Juliet with ball in hand. 2 should go down here. 3, 4. She's looking to follow this all the way down. She really poked at that though. I think James is taking a look at this combo.
That's insane. I didn't hear any call.
No, he didn't. He was just taking his time back there.
I think he was going for it though. He must have said something.
Were you going for that?
Somebody just asked him if he was going
Yeah,
for it.
Julietta asked. I don't think he was.
I have no idea. Again, I need a timer.
So she doesn't. I don't know.
No,
She
just
just
we
doesn't,
had a "you can do it"
Yeah.
in the audience.
doesn't quite know how to get to the 4 from here.
No, I can't see.
She knows one route.
Yep.
She's trying to figure it out.
Don't do it like that though.
She's going to.
Yeah.
She actually got there.
It's just so hard to hit like that. I'm a little surprised she didn't use the bridge there.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's a lot of speed. You're lucky he hit that 9 ball. It slowed him down.
But the other way to put it more that way so it bounces against the long rail and comes
Long
out.
rail down, yeah, but that's a little tougher to get in position than your shot, but an easier shot.
So the 5 ball must clear. So James was just talking about out there. Curious to see if it goes.
That looks like it'll go pretty easily. Yeah, a little fist pump must.
This is a touchy shot. Getting on the 7. Oh, he was going for the 9.
Okay, so
Does
if you're
Juliet?
Julietta, you go for this, right?
Yeah. Does Juliet know to go for it though? Because it's gonna require draw. I think. Now she's going for the shot.
She's going for the off the top rail, off the bottom rail, and up into the corner.
The shot bank
Yeah.
double. Billy, you don't need to say it, man. We all know. We all know you're going for the 9.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, she might win it here anyways with that.
Yeah, that's.
If you're James, you're frustrated here. If I'm James, I'm hitting the 9-ball into the pocket.
It's not a bad call. He's looking at it.
Just do it. That's because if you miss, it's over. And I don't think there's too many people that would. Whoa, 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 whoa. No.
He's trying to reject the combination.
That was good. I think so.
But it's just easier to hit the 9-ball at the pocket, man.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he couldn't see the 9.
You could have gone rail first. I mean, there's no way.
I mean, and the thing is, she can put this. I mean, she can put this in the lower pocket, lower left, and just follow it into the. What are you doing?
What is she? She's going double combo.
No, it's not straight.
Combo.
Billy did.
Oh no.
Keep your emotions to yourself, Alan.
I'm not. She's gonna watch this and go, I hate you.
The easier thing to do would be to do a stop shot on the 4 and then combo the 7 at it if you really want
That's
to
what I'm
do
thinking.
that.
Yeah.
I'm oddly nervous. Sorry, fix that.
Okay, there's only 57 people watching.
There's only 6 watching. Okay, so that goes there. That goes there.
Yes, it would go back onto the dot. It would be spotted. So it's a good way of trying to save your win, but you got it.
Wow. All right. That's it. So Julieta takes the match 5-2. That brings up Alan and the Deej. Coming up next for match 2. We're only got 2 matches tonight, guys, so this will be our last one. Hang in with us. We're going to take five-ish minutes for Alan and DJ to get warmed up, and we'll be back with you.
Yep. Thank you guys for viewing, and I will talk to you guys next week.
That's why I see a triple combo get made very often.
Alright guys, we are back. We've got Alan and DJ here. This should be a pretty good match. So far they've met once. DJ has won that first match. And we're about to get started with the leg. Sound in there. Alan's gonna take that. Alright, so let's see if Alan gets redemption. Match number 2 between these guys.
Oh, DJ did get the first matchup between these two, didn't he?
Yeah, you sound quiet. Are you muted there? Alright, there you go. Now I can hear you. So Shannon, the pot percentage, we should really, wow. We should give that a different name. I think in the pros they call it a TPA, I believe. Total Performance Average, I think is what it stands for. So the pot percentage we have is more than just makes and misses, because it also involves a large part of the game, which is defense. So you know, if you fail a defensive shot and you leave your opponent, that's considered a miss. So it's just not misses and makes when it comes down to performance. So Ranger, these guys would be your solid mid-level players. Rob, if you had to give them, you're more familiar with like a Fargo, what would you give these guys?
Fargo's, I'd put these guys between 400 and 450. Probably closer to the 450 side.
Yeah, so if you had a bar league going on and you had a skill range between 1 and 9, these guys would be 4s and 5s. So right middle of the road. But we were just talking about this earlier. You know, we've people who've only been playing for a couple of years, and Alan falls in that category, and he's climbing the ranks pretty fast. I did this insane thing, and I started a pool team of 8 people, and I was the only one who'd played pool before. And so I had 7 brand new players, and none of these guys knew even how to hold a cue, and we got destroyed for our first season, but we learned a lot. And Alan went from a new player to a solid mid-level player now.
We've talked about this before. You and I, Matt, I did roughly the same thing, you know, just started a team with all new players. I think that there's just a huge amount of knowledge out there nowadays available publicly that allows players to improve very quickly.
I think if you've got the passion for it, the drive for it, it's there for you, right?
DJ with ball in hand, and it's still kind of a tough little pattern. A lot of back and forth.
Yeah. Sometimes I actually prefer a pattern like this, just because you can keep letting your stroke out and find those 2 rails.
Yeah, and you don't, you know, you really got to work for the position. I find when I have to work for it, I'm usually a little more accurate than I get lazy on the easy position, let's say.
Yeah.
But that 4 to 5 was going to be the toughest shot that he had to do. Oh, he got away with this though. I missed that first overall graphic. Where did these two stand in overall standings? They're pretty close, I bet.
Well, their records are pretty close, so they can't be that much difference. I'll flash it up between racks here. Alright, so that brings Alan back to the table here. Things are cleared up a little bit. Bridging over the 8, so it's not the easiest shot.
You shoot this with inside and try and get behind the 6?
I just put top on it. You don't need to put inside
Just go
on
back
it.
up top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of easy shots, just worried about the leave. I don't want to divulge too much information, but over this last week, we were talking about how we were doing a lot of filming this last weekend, and I think we did a drill that got in a lot of people's heads. We didn't try to do that, of course. It was all through the journey of learning and understanding, and I think people learned some things they didn't want to learn about themselves.
I mean, I wouldn't say it got in my head, but I discovered something that I'll definitely be making a change. But for me, I think it was a positive discovery. But I think there's a few players out there that are a little rattled by what they discovered.
And it's better now than later, right?
Right.
And that's the beauty of the journey. So we're very happy to see some of the results we did. All right, Alan line up to 8 after this.
I'm bad about these balls, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry,
gotta get in the rhythm.
We're good. Nice run, perfect position.
Uh-oh. Sometimes it makes you wonder what their mind was imagining was going to happen there.
Right.
The imagination of a pool player can be very deceiving sometimes. Disappointing, I guess I should say is a better word for
I've disappointed myself pretty tremendously on certain shots, but sometimes you wonder, how did you think anything else but that was going to happen?
That almost, without that rub, that would have been a nasty sleeve. Sounded kind of funky.
It did almost sound a little miscuey, huh?
Yeah, I wonder if this key's tight.
And there you have it.
Alright, so there's you guys' standings there for a second.
Rack 1.
So DJ has done a fantastic job of getting most of his matches in. So most of our matches are going to be non-featured, so you guys will never see them. And DJ's really good about getting his in.
Yeah, does anybody have as many racks?
Oh.
Nobody's even close.
No,
Huh?
no. Alright, so Alan's breaking rack 2. Yeah, it's the line from Saturday.
From the...
Yeah, there's a line on the table. After we polished the balls before we started, and we cleaned in the table every time between people and the balls.
And still.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Three's down.
Oh, 3.
So Alan's breaking very strong right now.
He's going to have to work for this 4 ball.
Yeah,
Nice.
on the
Very
wrong
nice.
side of it.
That will work. Ooh, that's...
He's mad right now because I think he felt the rest of that rack.
Yeah. He's It's a little fortunate to left it the way he did, but that's an easy little one rail or even just a slide off the rail here.
So it's a pretty big ball, that 4. I mean, it'll go in. It's the speed now, the contact.
It's always goofy to get position on this type of shot. It's really hard to judge your speed on that roll. I think he just hit that too full. Nice.
Not the easiest leave.
Real tough 6-ball, and even to manage position on the 7 off of that.
Yeah. It's hard to tell by the lens distortion if he's truly straight in or not.
I've got to the point where if it looks like they're straight in on that overhead, I assume they're not.
Yep, exactly. They're not. True story.
Eight ball? Nope. Oh,
He's
cover
snookered.
though.
Yeah, he snookered DJ again.
Towards the end of that first set, Julietta and James, Julietta was getting awfully beneficial on the leaves. I know that was probably getting frustrating for James. Sometimes the rack just goes that way, and
Gonna do
2 rails.
Yeah. 3.
Wow. Close.
Yeah, it's a tough shot. Alright, so ball in hand for Alan here.
It's funny to see how different players play this differently. So he's obviously going forward into the head rail. I would have played a draw shot into the side rail.
I would too, all day long.
And that's why. Because with the draw shot, you're coming into the line of the shot the whole time, right?
Yep, play the percentages. I think he just said it too.
Nice shot.
Okay, so he's gonna have to bank this, but he's got the angle for it.
You think he's got to bank that? I think from it looks like he may be able to cut it.
What are you gonna do with the cue ball though?
Yeah, it's gonna have to wrap three rails around. Get
Slow
there.
down.
I think that'll work.
Not easy.
It's a little close to your work, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of table. Got it. Nice shot.
And Allen breaks out for an early 2-0 lead.
Yeah. No, back to the standings though. Even slot number 2 is getting real tight.
Yeah, slot 2 is definitely up for grabs. I really like my position for slot 2 because I actually have Alan and Brian yet to play. So I'm definitely in control of my own destiny.
I think everyone in the top area is in the same boat.
Yeah, because at least with Brian and Alan, you know, the three of us play each other. And I know Brian has you yet to play.
Yeah, I think I still need to play Jordan, Brian,
I have Jordan yet to play also,
Alan.
actually.
No, you and I played, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Brian. Bring it out here. Right
All right, I'm breaking rack 3 here. What was that? Oh, it must have been his chalk. What was that?
Cue ball got way away from him on that, to the point that he probably doesn't even have a shot on that one ball. I guess he could give it a little swerve around there, but
He got down on it pretty fast, so I think he's
yeah,
okay.
he must be shooting straight at it, huh?
That's fast. Ooh.
Oh, that's the one that gets people. They don't understand why did it not roll when I had a follow on it.
Well, no, that didn't slow down because of the result of top. I think he hit the one ball fat.
You think it was just because how fat it was? Because
Yeah.
he did get the head rail a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah.
not much. It was pretty flat. Yeah, I think he's still got a shot at the 2 though. Oh no, he's breaking out a jump. I do not like jumping a ball that's on the rail like that. I think I would honestly swerve this cue ball before I would jump it. Nice hit.
How did it miss all those balls? It's gonna go in.
Yeah, look at that. He doesn't want it to go.
No.
That was actually a really nice effort.
Mm-hmm. DJ has gotten the short end of the cue stick tonight too.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see if maybe it'll turn around for him in the second half here. Shannon was blowing on that to go in. So I don't know how late you guys were here after that filming the other day, but I rolled in here and it was a nice day outside, and I rolled out and the smoke had rolled in. It was awful.
Yeah, we were in here all day long, so I couldn't have told you what happened.
Oh, it was really bad, and it was just for a couple hours. Nice.
Well, that one is at least intentional.
It really doesn't get much better than that. I mean, what does he have at this? Maybe 2 rails back? Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. It's probably looking at a single actually, because he's so tight on that 4 ball.
It could be cutting that off, huh? Yeah.
It's a middle of the table over another ball. Yeah, it's rough.
Oh yeah, there's no way. He goes 2 on that.
Whoa, crazy English on that.
I saw an interesting bridgehead online today that somebody was making. It literally goes over the object ball. You can put the bridge basically on top of another object ball because it's carved out around the whole ball.
Have you ever watched snooker? They've got an army of different bridges you can use.
I haven't watched a lot of snooker.
They've got some crazy bridges, man.
Do they? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I imagine they have to use them a lot. I mean, what your standard snooker table is 12 foot?
12 by 6, yeah. Yeah, the one that's actually called a spider, and it's just a big arch on it. You could stick it wherever you want. And it's got a big long neck on it with a little point that you slide your cue on.
Huh.
So yeah, you can get way over balls. Over the entire rack, really. Just gonna try and draw this back
Yeah,
just
that's
right.
a curious choice, right? To each their own. This is my favorite song that comes on our playlist. Oh, beautiful position too. New to the watch and I don't know how to shut it up yet.
Right on.
There we go.
Oh, Alan, are you really looking at that? Wow, he is. He's like
His inner Billy coming out.
I can't believe he's going for that.
I think it's maybe a more just in case call, right? Because you're looking at that going, when I cut this far in, maybe I'm going to hit that. I don't.
No.
I think he'll miss it completely,
Yeah.
honestly. Oh, well.
Alright, DJ finally gets a shot. Make good use of it.
Oh.
Yeah, his cue sounds weird.
Wow. Look at that 1 inch of tip that he's got on that new tip. He does, I notice, he does have the Kamui clear. Maybe that clear pad makes a difference in the sound, but I don't remember ever noticing that when I shot a clear. I didn't like the clear though myself. Well, you gave yourself that shot, DJ. Put it in. What a great shot. We have to really work for this. What would you shoot here, all the way up and down, or like a drag shot? Oh, I didn't think he'd be able to just hit that soft and get the position.
I think just because a habit of playing on unpredictable tables is I just hit at speed.
Yeah. That's what I like about shooting a drag shot, though. You can still put a little bit of power on it and just let the cue ball drag down there, and it just kind of checks up.
Well, on that severe of a cup, I don't think, you know, you got to really drag it.
It's tough to hold, right? Yeah.
It's like throwing a knuckleball.
That, and I think that severe cut is honestly easier to pocket with a harder shot like you would play. It's much easier.
So DJ going for the bank.
It's surprising. I cut this all day long.
Yeah.
It's perfect two-rail position.
Oh, he got it.
He barely got the hit.
But that's another thing that I've noticed is that the perspective we get on this top-down camera, if it looks cuttable, a lot of the times it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know this because I'll go back and watch my matches, and not even just commentary, but like, well, sometimes commentary, like, why didn't he just cut that in? And you're like staring at like a 90-degree shot.
Yeah.
It's deceiving.
And that was, even from what I could see here, that was already questionable for a lot of players. For me, it was definitely a cut from what I thought I saw, but oh. And he got where he needed to be.
Yeah, he did.
They're not leaving this easy. That's going to leave it considerably easier. That's tough to lose a little battle going back and forth like that.
Would you go into the rail or would you just float it?
This one, I probably would just float because I'd be afraid if I go into the rail, I come up and leave it on the rail or something dumb. And it's so easy just to float that one.
All right, this one's for you, Billy, James, and Tiffany. Putting the standings up one more time, just so people get a good look at that. There are a couple matches floating out there that still need to get processed, but for the most part, it's fairly up to date. One of the things I find incredibly interesting about this is the fact that Brian's in the 3 slot, and he's in the minus for rack wins.
I noticed that immediately when these new standings came up. I thought that was insane. And even pot, look at his pot percentage compared to his company.
Mm-hmm. But it's such an anomaly, 34, 24, minus 2, and then 10. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's wild. It means he's barely winning his games.
A lot of hills,
yeah,
right?
Tight matches for Brian.
Well, and maybe when he's lost considerably.
Yeah. I find that a very interesting stat.
Breaking his perfect break streak there.
Mm-hmm. So what's down, the 6 ball?
I mean, he still got one. He just got Whitey.
Man, DJ's mask is riding really high. You see that?
And with his glasses on too, I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, he wears his mask super high. Interesting.
I don't think I'll ever get used to playing with a mask on. I hope I don't have to get used to it, honestly, but
I'll invent something before I have to get used to that.
right. I almost wondered what you'd look silly, but you know, the clear shields that you see some people wearing. I thought, I wonder how that would work.
As long as it's not in front of your eyes, because it would create optical distortion.
I think it would, right?
Oh,
You'd
for
see
sure.
like little glares and goofy stuff.
Yeah, it'd just bend the light just enough. Alright, DJ already got himself into some trouble, I think, here. Have to play this with speed.
Looked like he was trying to bank that, huh?
Yeah. Huh. Alright, well, Alan's got pretty natural shape to even just slow roll this.
Yeah, that's what I'd play, just a nice little slow roll.
It's nice that you play on a table where you can do that.
Just gotta make sure to not get too straight, and yep, he'll... I think that's enough. He can, if anything, he can draw out of there.
So close to the rails, he's okay.
Yeah, that might have been straighter than it looked, because I thought he'd be able to go to the head rail, but...
Poor DJ.
He
The
he
SARS are
cannot-
coming out now.
He cannot win shape. It's just brutal.
Ooh.
A little softer, he probably would have got that.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Alan's got a plan drawn up. And let's just execute. I think he was looking for a little more on that, but I'd be pretty happy with that right there, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think he's got a good angle on it.
Yeah. Is he hoping to bounce that in? That's a solid concrete subfloor. I don't
Yeah.
think any jumping's gonna do you any good.
Not gonna jostle. Check out this bridge.
Have you ever seen him do that before?
I think I have. I
I
think I've seen him do that before.
Huh.
I gotta remember to ask him about that. That didn't come out during his filming session.
I had never seen him do that before. I forget who it is, but there is a player that's the only way that he bridges, but I think it's something to do with a arthritis issue.
A lot of new players will bridge like that. They'll use their knuckles like that. Looks like Jonathan's wanting to say hi.
It's a little, hey, what's going on, Jonathan? Jonathan is, I don't know if you knew this, Jonathan lives in China.
I think I did know that. Yeah, because I think he said if somebody wins this, I'll wash everyone's cars, or I can't remember what it was.
Right, yeah. He's talking smack. Yeah, so I think he goes on record as our furthest viewer. Well, there you go.
We had people calling in from everywhere tonight. Pennsylvania, Canada, Texas. Gosh, I can't remember all the other ones. Alright, Alan taking his time on his second to last shot here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Jonathan, have you got out and played any pool in China? There's Chinese 8-ball is pretty popular tournament-wise, but I don't know if you can walk into a local bar or a pool room and play.
They're turning out by far the most solid players right now. They're taking over.
Yeah, they're kind of taking over the Filipino role.
Mm-hmm. I would say even more than that. Alright, so Alan takes a 4-0 lead. He's on the hill.
Alan's licking his chops right now. He's probably having flashbacks of a certain match with a certain somebody. What do you think? I had to say it, Alan, when you hear this.
This is where some people can, just get lackadaisical.
This can be the toughest rack to get out of 5, right? Yeah. The first rack and the last rack.
So this is a decent layout.
He's been really solid on the breaks. First shot's just, I think he's just gonna have to take the tough cut on the 2. That's what I do. Just deal with it from right there. Maybe roll a little forward.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably gonna have a different plan when he watches that later tonight.
Jumped up on that.
That's something I catch myself doing occasionally, jumping up on shots.
Alan Collins safe.
Okay.
That was an interesting stroke for safe.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked out though.
I think that's the first time we've had that happen. Looks like he's overcutting that.
Nice roll.
Yeah.
Good shot. He's got a good looking rack from here on out.
Mm-hmm. So if somebody calls safe, it's a defensive play, so they're intending not to make the ball and to leave their opponent a difficult or impossible shot.
Well, at least he left it funky. I'd like to see DJ get this match and make things a little interesting.
Wow, there's a monster amount of top on that.
I guess you're playing for the 6-9 combo now. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry guys, missed a couple balls there. We're on track now. The 4 or 5 did lay kind of weird. There wasn't a great shot that I liked there, but I fully expect him to make that. Nothing on the grill tonight, John. I actually made some chicken wings in the air fryer tonight. Jonathan living in China, he's always jealous of what we're eating here because obviously he doesn't get some of the food that he grew up on.
That'd be so weird. So this is a speed control shot. Ooh, I thought I was gonna take it into the side and travel. God, he's
Look
getting,
at this.
he needs to go buy a lottery ticket. That's impossible.
Poor DJ. He just doesn't know what to do. Wow, that did not look good at all on the overhead. It's amazing. I thought he was way too flat on that. Maybe that has a chance as long as he was looking at it.
It goes.
That's a tight pocket already without that 5 in the way. There was a point that this table looked pretty good.
Yeah, right? I was like, is this a new rack?
Yeah. That is tough.
DJ keeps short circuiting here. Rita, these are not Cyclops balls, so these are the Aramith Black series. So they do have a completely new tone, I guess you could say. You've got a pink 4 and a purple 5, which are the kind of the odd ducks.
Yeah, for the life of me, I don't know why they did that, because they just reversed those 2 balls and the set seems pretty ordinary. I mean,
Yeah. There has to be some method to the madness, I'm sure. Alan's jumping this. Didn't get over that 5.
I don't know that I've seen him take on a jump that's been that close.
It's tight.
Post over there.
All right, DJ. All you got to do, once again, figure out how to get to that 6-9 combo. I don't think you can squeeze the cue ball in there to cut that 6. It doesn't look.
You mean versus the combo?
Yeah, well, to
Oh,
cut the
yeah.
6 to the other corner. I don't
No, that's
think
not
so.
the play.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't try.
No.
So
needs
he
to leave
really
a
needs a
decent
stop
angle.
shot right
Yeah,
here.
Yeah.
Not the right shot.
Now he's got to put some power on it if he wants to get across. Which we know these pockets like power.
All day long, just slam this in. What's the problem? See, yeah, he had the right roll off. That just needs to be a little bit sharper. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I go for the 9 right here. Why not?
Yeah. Because you can get it real close
Yeah.
and leave it for your opponent, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, but I think he'll likely leave a difficult shot should he miss it. If he doesn't try and drill it. Like, I don't shoot this shot real hard. I just want a touch draw to where the 6 is going to stay on that in rail and cue ball's going to head back up table. I actually enjoy this kind of shot. It's fun.
Wow.
Nice.
Alright, so DJ avoids the skunkaroo.
With
Takes
an
rack
early
5.
9. Oh, yeah. There we are, 5 racks in. Alan leading, up 4-1. I'm pretty sure Alan's looking at this rack, having memories.
I think he's okay.
I think that was the last time my brother Jonathan tuned into the matches when I was playing Alan. And my bro says he had me the whole way. Oh, I like that DJ's using different parts of that brake pad. We've definitely worn out the center of it. Nice break. Cue ball got a little loose though.
Yeah, if my memory serves me correct, DJ tends to leave the cue ball in the bottom half of the
bottom
table.
It's hard to have a whole lot of success doing that.
Yeah, it is. Five ball.
What? I'm guessing we're going to see defense here. These are the defenses that I really need to work on.
The hard ones?
Right. They look so easy though. It's like, oh yeah, just chip up there behind the 8. I'll be fine.
I'd play this at speed, honestly. I'd just go for distance with this. Ooh,
Oh, you're just pushing out.
pushing out.
Okay. Yeah. off that
Got lucky
side
there
pocket
again.
a little weird, didn't it?
Wow. DJ, like, man, he better not walk out inside of a lightning storm right now. He gets struck.
It's amazing how those rolls can go very one-sided sometimes. Well, this is the opening DJ needed.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of work to do here, but no problems. Oh, aggressive on that. I like that actually.
I would have left a line right there. It's way easier to.
I wouldn't have done that shot at all. I would have just taken that center table cut on the 2, but now that he's there, I really like it.
I think he'll be crossing the line more aggressively from this angle, though.
Yeah, that was a small window to hit on the 3, right? I'm the worst at keeping track of those balls. Wow. Look at this guy.
This is a nasty shot right here. For like 4 different reasons.
Yeah, it's danger, Will Robinson. Yep, I kind of expected that to be in there.
Take that, Alan.
He finally gave Alan back one of those nightmares.
It's sitting in. I mean, it's odd. Look at that ball. There's more hanging off than there is on.
That's crazy.
And then the 4 balls on the 50-yard line.
Yeah, what do you do with this?
Yeah. You just gotta punt at it. I think you just called a save. I don't know what else you'd call.
I mean, it's not too shabby from what he had, but if DJ can manage to pocket this, he should get a good roll on the 6. Oh, just elected to play defense. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't trying to
No.
bait
Yeah.
that, was he?
Yeah, that's safe.
This is the cut that I missed the ball entirely because I'm trying to shave it. You see my brother's comment there?
Yeah. It probably is pretty close competition. Yeah, we hit almost, I think, 70.
I hate that.
What's that?
You see that cue ball it was going to leave him perfect on the 6 and it hit the nipple there on the side pocket and bounced back to mid-table. He still got a shot, but he was going to be perfect.
I think he actually has better shape to get around now. Because I'd like to go 3 rails regardless
Yeah.
here.
Oh, nice swing, DJ.
He's
Slow
too
down,
much.
slow down. Well, he's gonna be all right. He's gonna get a side shot. Yeah, bank side.
Shannon, no, it doesn't give your stats a better like pot percentage. It just makes it easier for the scorekeeper to keep track. Because a safety
Nice cut.
that is missed, meaning your opponent makes a ball off of it, is still considered a miss. Drills it.
Nice.
You're behind
He's
again.
oh, I'm missing a couple. Oh, I know he wanted a little bit easier shot on the 9, but he'll make this happen. Or he'll leave it real tough. If you're gonna miss that shot, that's how to miss it. What do you think? Does Alan play safe here or does he shoot it? I feel like Alan might go safe here.
I can tell you by his body language here in a second. I think he's going for it. Or maybe not. It looks like he's gonna hit soft, doesn't it? Yep.
That is the worst. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Bad corner there. Yeah, yeah. Corner.
Not an easy shot.
I really dislike this shot. When you're back cutting it, well, for me, that's a blind back cut. Yeah. That's a tough shot. Oh, it looks like, is he banking it?
No, he's gonna cut it.
Is he? That angle just looks weird. Oh, yeah, yeah. It just didn't look like it. Yeah, it's a hard cut. I hate that cut. Did you pre-arrange that, Shannon?
Ooh.
Oh. Well, that should wrap it up. I don't see this one getting away from Alan.
He's looking at his tangent. He shouldn't have to hit it that hard.
Yeah,
He should be hitting right between 2 pockets right there.
yeah. I just roll this one in, and you're gonna hit right between the side and the corner, right?
He's striking down at it.
Oh, he is. Wow, that makes that shot a little tougher. Uh-oh. Wow. Little focus from DJ, and we'll be at 2-4. Ooh, he tried to.
I wasn't looking at it, I heard the rattle.
playing someone, and I had 2 ball and amber nines. Missed them both.
Ooh.
Rattle them both.
Interesting
I was
rack.
at the Haven.
1, 2, 3, all
Still
sitting up
remember.
front.
Yeah, you don't forget those.
I don't know that I would ever give somebody that rack.
Alright, so DJ not going down easy. Was down 4-0. It's clawing back here. Breaking rack 7. And no shot for Alan coming to the table here. Try break.
Push out coming up, I'd put money on. And Alan did call the push. Oh, I don't think he's gonna like where he pushed to. Oh no, he's okay.
That 4 ball is sitting pretty fat in the pocket though.
Yeah, it's just I thought he was gonna snooker it, the one with the 6, but he definitely would have got that shot back. But yeah, I'm guessing DJ's going 1-4 here. That looked more defensive. He's not gonna like his next shot. I'm sure Alan's gonna park this behind the 5-9, yeah. He looks like he's queuing up for, oh no, that was,
Hit it 2 square.
oh yeah. I like these cuts. I don't know that I'm necessarily good at them. I just like them. Whenever I see that shot, I feel real comfortable with it. This one ball's playing hard to get. Janice, when you push out, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to hit a rail. You don't need to hit a ball. You can literally just move the ball a quarter of an inch if you wanted. You could pocket any ball on the table intentionally if you wanted to. There's no rules.
Or I guess you could even pocket the legit ball. It's still a push.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know that I've ever seen that.
Right?
I have seen other balls pocketed intentionally, but
Yeah, but the kick is that your opponent can give it back to you if they don't like it. It's a game of chess, really.
yeah, which I think in pro level play is a lot more of a concern.
Yeah. Almost got it.
Nice try. Thanks, Jonathan. I don't know about that, but I appreciate the kind words, buddy.
Good shot from Alan. Pretty straightforward rack here. It's just keeping the cue ball in the middle of the table. This is kind of a sticky one where he left that. Side pocket's big.
Yeah, and drawing it out of there, the 7 gets kind of big.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if it'll cause problems.
It's really just a touch over a stop shot, and he'll be in good shape. Oh, he wasn't comfortable with that. That was nicely played.
It's a soft shot here.
See, this shot I would actually put left on and try and kill the cue ball. And even though it's totally unnecessary, I always overthink a shot like that. I'm like, well, I want some reverse English coming off that rail. Draw back up. Yeah. He's back to those tricks.
It's pretty incredible, really.
Sure, he's just playing a little shaved defense here. Gonna need that to keep coming. Keep coming.
Still have 44 viewers hanging with us tonight on your Monday. Thanks for joining in and tuning in.
Looks like he's got enough edge on that. Did he get him? I think he got him.
He's gonna bend it. Nice try.
Let's try.
A lot of quick back and forth here. That 5 ball got real ugly real fast.
Like a kick and stick shot right here. You know, just stick behind the 8 there, try and put the 8 down rail from, or the 4, 5. Jeez, I went through the whole gamut there, didn't I, Matt? 4, 5, 6. Wow. He almost scratched that in the side. How do you get in that pocket? Well, he went for a much simpler defense than I was thinking. I like his play better.
Wow, that was close to that pocket. I like shots like this, coming around for the 7. They're just fun. Gotta,
Letting it swing a little.
yeah, poke it and trust it. Oh, I was gonna go 3 rails around.
Yeah, you just because that 8, you had to, right?
Yeah.
It always amazes me how accurate I can be on that 3 rail position shot and then blow just a simple little 2-3 foot position shot.
Ooh,
He was just gonna deal with it, I guess, huh?
I think that's a double hit though.
Oh, on the cue ball?
No, I'm talking. It's gonna be a double kiss on the
Oh,
7.
on
while
the
trying
7.
to cross side. He's going corner.
Ooh.
I do not like those corner shots.
They're really tough to judge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the smallest fraction off, and you're in a whole nother ball field. Yeah.
Alan just gave up, apparently. He's gonna leave his stick right there and walk out. I think at this point Alan's starting to have flashbacks. Post-traumatic stress. I don't know why he just didn't float that with draw.
Tough. I don't know entirely what was possible there, but I think I would have drawn all the way back to the side rail. Oh, nice shot.
He's not gonna have the legs though.
That blows. Comes up just short. And he's gonna bank it. A little bit of cross corner bank. That looked like it was gonna be way far off, and it ended up being real close.
Alright, so if Alan misses this, we've got a game on our hands.
That'll be enough to thoroughly mess with his head.
Yeah. He should have this though. He doesn't look like he's cutting it enough. It's gotta be the lens. Alright, there it is.
Nice.
Alright, so Alan takes the
That
game.
does it for tonight, guys.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Only 2 matches tonight for you guys, so stick with us next Monday, 7 p.m. Same bat channel, same bat time. See you guys next time.